Hey, freedom lovers. I'm Curt Derby. Thank you for joining me for the spotlight titled Elon and Trump and DOGE, oh my. Today's spotlight will be especially helpful for the Democrats. But just like everything else in the perfect society, everybody's happy and everybody wins. Which means Republicans, Libertarians, Green Party, Constitution Party, non-affiliated, non-political, and everybody else will also benefit from today's topic. Today is April 1st, 2025. While it's April Fool's Day for many, it is not April Fool's Day for the Democrats. We are barely 2 months into Donald Trump's second term, and there is a lot that the Democrats are unhappy with. From deportations to trans policy to energy policy, the left's grievances are quickly piling up. Perhaps the biggest frustration lately is DOGE. For those of you who don't know what DOGE is, it is spelled D-O-G-E, and it stands for Department of Government Efficiency. This new department was implemented when Donald Trump signed an executive order during his first day in office this past January. DOGE's function is to reduce the national debt by reducing government spending, especially wasteful spending. Shortly after the order was signed, DOGE started laying off government employees. To date, DOGE has fired over 100,000 federal workers. Additionally, 2 weeks ago, Trump signed an executive order to eliminate the Department of Education, and last week, the Republicans announced their plans to abolish TSA, the Transportation Security Administration. These actions have caused quite a stir. Media coverage is heavy, emotions are high, and many Americans are upset. As a result, the public took to social media and grassroots activity, and various protests have sprung up across the country. One of the largest protests was 50-51, which stands for 50 protests in 50 states in one day. 50 protests in 50 states sounds like a big protest, don't you think? It reminds me of the Occupy Wall Street movement. Remember them? I wouldn't be surprised if you said, "Oh yeah, Occupy Wall Street. I forgot all about that." And I also wouldn't be surprised if you said, "Occupy Wall Street? Never heard of it." Here's what happened with Occupy Wall Street. On September 17th, 2011, protesters camped out for 2 months in Zuccotti Park in New York City's financial district. Their slogan of, "We are the 99%, sent the message that 1% of our population, the super rich, were responsible for many of our woes. The movement caught a lot of media attention, from global mainstream media to cable news to the new kid on the block, social media. In addition to the protest in New York City, over 900 cities in 82 countries started their own Occupy protests. With this global support that lasted months, Occupy was a much bigger deal than today's protests, like 50-51. So after Occupy, there had to have been major changes, right? Surely the richest 1% were held accountable for economic inequality, corporate greed, and the pay gap. Surely the 99% received justice, right? Wrong. You know what happened? Virtually nothing. There were some clashes with police, arrests were made, property was damaged, and all the campers around the world were eventually evicted or just left on their own. No laws were changed. The 1% were not held accountable, and the 99% was in the same spot as they were before the protests. This global phenomenon, with its hundreds of thousands of protesters, quickly faded into memory, just like today's 50-51 protest and others like it. Don't get me wrong, I am not knocking protesters. It's our First Amendment right to protest. We use freedom of speech, freedom of peaceful assembly, and freedom to petition the government. And thank goodness we have these freedoms. Not every country does. But it seems like protesting does nothing more than express our anger. It doesn't really change anything. And I'm not saying that we shouldn't protest. What I am saying is, if you want to see change, you must change your approach. So now I speak directly to the Democrats. Change your approach, and you will see change in the government. change how you act, and you will see change that will last generations. Oh, and before you Republicans turn up your nose at the Democrats for protesting these past couple months, don't forget how you were flipping out just a few months ago. You thought Kamala Harris was the Antichrist. You thought the Democrats were going to cheat again during the 2024 election. You thought the media, the Department of Justice, and all the Democrat politicians had a witch hunt against Donald Trump. And you thought there was going to be a civil war after Harris won the election. Let's get back to the recent protests. We should all be very impressed with how they were organized. Using social media and grassroots activity, the organizers of these protests did very well. There was quite a bit of public turnout, but again, nothing has really changed. Why? Do you think Donald Trump is paying attention to your protests? And if he is, do you think he cares? After all, he and the Republicans have been vying for the past 4 years to get back into office and into the exact position that they are in right now. They want to fix all the stuff they claim that you have broken. You're crazy to think that Trump or Elon will change their ways. You're crazy to think that Trump will reinstate the Department of Education just because you're marching for it. But hey, Democrats, there is some good news. You can fix this. How? You can fund the Department of Education.
Oh man, Curt, are you nuts? That's a crazy idea. That's the craziest idea I've ever heard.
You know what's crazier? Man thinking he could fly. And that crazy thought invented the airplane. You know what's crazier than that? Us thinking we could go to the moon. And those crazy thoughts got us to the moon. You know what's really crazy? A brand new country for the first time ever wanted its people to be free, not subjects to a king or a dictator. And those crazy thoughts founded the country you're now living in. And here's what might be the craziest thing of all. The fact that we, the people, have forgotten that we are a free people. Far too many voters think that our country is run by Donald Trump or Elon Musk or Joe Biden or Barack Obama. Compared to all the aforementioned crazy things, it seems to me that paying for the Department of Education is pretty low on the crazy ladder. And don't forget that you were already paying for it before Trump. The Department of Education wasn't funded by the money fairy that lives in a pot of gold. You were paying for it. You've been paying for it since the early 1980s. The Department of Education runs on taxpayer dollars. So you've been paying for it for almost 50 years. But now Donald Trump says you're no longer paying for it. So if you want the Department of Education, pay for it. It's really that simple.
Oh, Curt, it's not that simple. It's complex. There's red tape and there's bureaucracy.
Well, that's true. How badly do you want it? Obviously, you want it badly enough that you're going to spend time, effort, and money to protest for it. Obviously, you want it badly enough to put time and work into social media and grassroots activity. So, just take a different approach. Spend that time, effort, and money, and pay for it. Even if you're not sure exactly how to do it, just say it. We will pay for the Department of Education. When you say it, you're halfway there. If Donald Trump won't do it, we should do it. There are a lot more citizens than there are politicians. Just because Trump and Elon don't want it doesn't mean the Department of Education can't exist. We can pay for it. This is the power of we the people. A power that many Americans have forgotten. I'm not blaming you. I'm just pointing out the fact that because of your decade-long angst regarding the Orange Nazi, you've forgotten your ability as an American citizen. We have the power. We can fund the Department of Education. Now, there's probably some red tape somewhere before we can make it happen, but who cares? We'll figure that out when we get there. It all starts with a mindset. It all starts with our decision that we want things a different way. We don't need to wait for Trump to do it. We don't need to wait for the next Democrat president to do it. We can do it today, right now. So I call on those organizers that did the 50-51 protest and the ones that are doing the upcoming hands-off protest. While you're protesting, while you're voicing your grievances, organize in a smarter way by making sure the Department of Education does not disappear. I've given you the starting point in this video. Right now, I don't have all the details. I don't understand all the red tape, and I don't care. Neither should you. I'm giving you the starting point. I'm giving you the idea. Every change starts with an idea. Every step forward starts with an idea. The airplane, the rocket, the new country, and millions of other changes throughout history started with an idea. Yes, I know that simply saying, "I want change," won't immediately change things. Yes, I'm sure we need to navigate a few things to implement the changes. I'm not here to give you all the answers in a 15-minute video, and I'm not here to fight your crusade for you. I am not your savior, but I am your messenger. The message is, if there is something that you want, you can go get it. You are capable. You are intelligent. When you organize in a better way, things will change. So take the next step. Even if you're not sure exactly how to do it, just say it. Remember, when you say it, you're halfway there. We've been conditioned to think that government must do things for us. This is not the case. We the people are 340 million strong, and the federal government are a mere 536 politicians. We've been hypnotized to think that we cannot enact change, that we need to ask politicians to do it for us. If we really want to get things done, we need to change our way of thinking. We need a new mindset. We can absolutely enact change. AOC, Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, Maxine Waters, Gavin Newsom, they've all been conditioned too. They're just like us. They're angry and disappointed in Trump, but they don't yet see that there is a better way of doing things. So let's share these ideas with all the like-minded citizens in the U.S. and then contact our politicians and let them know that there is a more effective way of getting things done. Just like 50-51, which organized through social media and grassroots action, we can gain strength through social media and grassroots action. Share this video with 5 people. It won't take long for all of us to come to the realization that there is a better way to get things done in our country. That we can do things immediately. We don't have to wait for politicians to fix everything. When you say, "I want it," with all your protesting compatriots, when you say, "I want it," with the Democrat politicians who want what you want, it'll get done. That's all there is to it. This is how we change our country. It starts with you. Not Trump, Biden, Harris, Bush, Obama, or Clinton. To learn more about living in a perfect society, click the pinned link in the comments below or at the end of the video. The link is of a video me reading my book to you titled "Everybody's Happy, Everybody Wins: How to Build a Perfect Society." If you prefer a free digital copy of the book or access to the audiobook, go to everybodyshappy.com for links. Then, we the people will make it happen. Apparently she's got some kind of nerve disorder. Thank God we're done.